Hi teachers, in this video we are going to walk through creating a tour in Google Earth. In order to create your tour, you're first going to go to googleearth.com/earth or earth.google.com. However you want to get there, it doesn't really matter, and you're going to select Launch Earth. We're going to give it a moment, depending on what you have running on your computer. Sometimes Google Earth can take a minute to load all of its content. Now, once it has loaded, it may report back to the last place that you visited. You have different features within Google Earth, and we're going to be taking a look at projects this time. So in this video, we are going to create our own project, meaning Google doesn't have a tour for exactly what I'm looking for, or I want to customize my own content to give students exactly what I want them to see. So we're going to select new, and then I strongly suggest creating a new project in Google Drive. These KML files do have some cool features with them, but the most simple form is just creating everything within Google Drive, letting it save there, and getting started this way. So we're going to just try creating one on Cleveland, and we'll see how this goes. I can, when I start my tour, give it a project title and then a description for my project. I have the option here at the top to share this with anyone. There's two settings for sharing. You can share editing access, which you might share with another teacher so you can build the tour together. And then you can share viewing access so that a user can go through your tour. You could also have student groups or student individuals working on tours as well that they can then share with the class. You have the option to reload the project if anything ever gets stuck, to delete the project, and then lastly, you have the ability to copy, export, or report inappropriate content if that were to ever occur. I thus far have not found anything in Google Earth that I have been concerned about. Okay, so we're ready to start creating features. Now you have some different options for creating features. You can create, you can search to add a place, you can add place marks, draw lines or shapes, or full screen slide. We're going to first just start with searching. And we're going to go to Cleveland, Ohio. And we're going to get the overview first. Just, hey, here's Cleveland, Ohio. It's nicely outlined, so we can talk about the shape of Cleveland, Ohio. And then this information here, if it's already populated, Google is populating this. So oftentimes Google will have the place, more names about it, or more details about it, pictures. If you notice more details here, they will pull from Wikipedia a lot of times. And then if I click more info, oftentimes I will see a slideshow of images throughout that city or wherever I am at. If I click the airplane, I go back to that overview location. Wikipedia would take me to the Wikipedia article on Cleveland. Now I'm going to click Add to Project. It's going to ask me, what do you want to call this? Going to call it Cleveland, Ohio. I want to add it to the project called Cleveland, and I want to select Save. Okay, so it's zooming in, and obviously now I'm starting to get 3D views of Cleveland and most cities and locations in here. Now, I could zoom into different places. So I can click on specific places that Google has already noted. Maybe I want to add the Fountain of Eternal Life. I can click to add this to the project. I leave it named as is. I click and add it. I can do this with any of the places that are already named on the map, and you can see those popping up as I click on them. The nice thing about adding places that are already named is Google already has a lot of the information populated for you. Now, you do have the option to add your own points as well. So we're going to get a little bit closer. And maybe I want to note this windmill. Not really sure why, but Sounds like a good idea. We're going to add a place mark, and then I'm going to add that to my list. So you can note places from the Google Earth view at any point. Now, here's the one feature that I love, and this works great for historical sites, is people all over the world have taken street views of things as well. Street views are contributed either by those Google cars that drive around with the spinning cameras, or they can be contributed by individuals who actually take the 360 images themselves. You can even do this yourself with a regular phone. Now, in order to find those street view, I am going to grab Pegman. That's the name for this little guy here. I'm going to grab Pegman, and you can drag Pegman to anywhere you see a blue line or a blue dot. Blue lines are the Google Street View where they have driven by it, and blue dots are usually contributed by individuals. It's a single location. So we're first going to drag to a blue line, and Google's going to drop us in, and we're going to have that street view where we can spin around. I didn't even realize that that was a memorial in Cleveland. So I can decide to add this place to my tutorial as well. I can go ahead and capture. If I click to capture this place, I'm going to name it Street View of Fire Memorial. And so I just click this button down here to name that street view. To get out of Street View so you can find other things, you just click on Pegman again and it takes you back out of Street View. Now this time we're going to find where someone else has already taken an awesome 360. We're going to even, drop ourselves somewhere in the Science Center. So people have taken street views inside of museums too, which is kind of cool. So dropping ourselves in the Science Center, I can see here someone took a street view right inside the Science Center, and I can add this. So street views don't have to be of the street, they can be inside buildings as well. And I'll click Pegman to go back out. So you can continue to add however many points to your tour, keeping in mind that if your tour gets too long, students lose interest, and if it's too short, it doesn't keep it just goes so quickly. The other thing that we can talk about is adding details to our tour. So now that we have all of our places that we want, if we are on the map, we can actually see all of these noted by the yellow and blue icons on our map. And if we click edit on any of these, you now have the option to further edit this point. So you can add your own custom pictures of this point. You can add details. You can decide how big you want the info box that's going to show up over here in the corner. You can change the pin colors. And then this information down here at the bottom, you typically don't want to edit this unless if you know what you're doing, because it has to do with the exact location where things are at. You can also always watch the tutorial straight from Google, which will give you even more information than I've given you. You have the opportunity to do some editing to your text and fonts here, making it look however you want it to look. You can even get more detailed and switch to HTML. You can add links within your text box as well. So we're going to go ahead and preview this. And you notice now here how it pops up as a box. This is what students will see when they're on this section of the tour. Going back to my last section of the tour, they don't see any content there. None there, because those were added by me, and then they see the content that's been curated by Google. So once you have everything ready to go on your tour and you're happy with however your tour ends up, you always have the ability to click present so you can go through the entire tour and see exactly what students would see. And then once you're ready, you're going to click share. Down here, change this link to North Olmsted City Schools. Make sure it's set as viewer, and then that would be the link you would share with your students in Google Classroom that will take them to this tour. Obviously, the first time they do a tour, you'll probably need to walk through what to pay attention to, as students will most likely click through things quickly and maybe not read the information. This can be a great way to either have a cumulative project and actually have students create their own tours, or to introduce a topic and get students interested in different things that you're going to be learning, perhaps by having a tour that is just focused on the images instead of specific content that you're trying to teach them. However you choose to use this, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and I can walk you further through some of the different features available in Google Earth.